Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villa and welcome to episode 82 of Raise the Holte, our bid for world domination with Aston Villa. And today we come straight back after last episode where we had a pair of 5-2 victories against City and Monaco. That was really, really good. But today we played Chelsea away from home, and then we send out the Youth Academy products named after you guys against Lincoln City at home in the third round of the Carabao Cup. So it's a lot to look forward to today. Let's have a quick refresher of the league table since last episode. As we haven't played any games, but there has been some games take place. We're a Sunday game in the Premier League, so there's obviously been the Saturday games. You can see we're sitting down there in 8th right now, 10 points. Everton are top of the league, which is who have they played? It's a little bit surprising, perhaps they're there. They've beaten Manchester United, then they've beaten Tottenham, but otherwise they haven't done too much there. They've sort of had winnable games, you would think. So, I mean, a win here takes us to 13 points, equal with Man City. Obviously, a loss, 6 points at this stage of the year is not fatal, but it's not the best, is it? You would imagine Everton are going to drop off. No disrespect to Everton, but I'm not in charge of them in this save, so, you know, they're probably going to drop off. So let's have a look at the team that we are sending out to face Chelsea in this game. Now, before we do that, just a quick look at sort of the match preview here. You can see we're not favourites, though we are in the better form. A quick look at the scout report here. Now, I know it's behind my head. They're a standard playing style, a balanced mentality, so just kind of it's played as it comes kind of thing. We can see the way we're expecting them to line up here. So you'll notice from the way that we're setting up, we're going to stick with Almeida up here and try and occupy Kante that way. You can see they're very, very narrow, so we're going to try and exploit the flanks, try and get down the sides of them. Passing network, I don't really, as I said, understand exactly how that works. You can see too, their key passes tend to be sort of close in and around the box. So what I think we're going to try to do in that case, I was tempted not to do this because we lack a little bit of pace, but we might play the high line. This is the team that we're sending out. It's Gaz Mosley in goal. It's Nepo, Rodrigo, Chambers, and Kosic as a back. No, actually, I think was Forster match fatigue. No, he's okay. So we'll go with Forster and not Chambers in this one. I'm going to need to give Chambers and AR some games, but not against these top teams. I really think we need to go with our best team here. Kosic, of course, is just coming back from his broken leg, so might even be his first start. It is his first start of the season, so hopefully he'll do a good job for us. Leroy and Grealish in midfield. Rashid, Almeida playing in the number 10 role with Marin. Messi up top. Now, we haven't really had success with Messi and Almeida in the same team, so we'll see how this goes. I mean, we've got to try it eventually. So they are playing as expected, a win for the scouts there. I think these two could work together. It's just, yeah, I mean, Messi seems to have settled in now. We've figured out the best way to use him. Now we're just going to see if we can get Almeida in the team with him or not. So what does Stig says we should challenge where they pick up where they left off. We weren't fantastic defensively, were we? Let's go out there and impress me. Let's just go out there and impress me. Now, if I look a little bit older from last game, it's because I recorded last episode before the Villa playoff, the second leg there. And wow, that was... oh, I do not like penalty shootouts that involve my teams. But God, it was good, wasn't it? It was so good. Didn't play well. I thought we lucked out a little bit, to be honest. I don't necessarily think we deserved to go through, but we did. And now may we go and smash Derby in the final. I'm a little bit worried that we've beaten them so comfortably the first two games and that might come back to haunt us a little bit. Here goes Almeida looking for some space. Oh, does the crossbar! Oh, Thiago Almeida. Unlucky. Oh, that would have been just such a good start, wouldn't it? We have actually started quite well here, truth be told. Let's give it a get creative and see if we can make this advantage count right now. Let me know in the comments if any of you are going to Wembley. I doubt I'll be able to get tickets because when I do go to games, it tends to be up here around Yorkshire and Lancashire, and I tend to sit in the home end because I've waited too long to get tickets. So I won't be able to get a ticket. But let me know if you guys are going. I hope it's a really good day for everybody. Obviously, I don't care if you have a bad day as long as we win, to be honest. So, yeah, I really hope that we do get back into the Premier League because otherwise, let's face it, Grealish is gone, isn't he? So, yeah, we really need to win that one. Bit of a snooze fest. I don't know that a draw away from Chelsea is the worst result we could get. Yeah, I mean, they haven't played well that half, have they? Because after this, we've pretty much played all the big hitters. It would just be Spurs as the one that we have, and it's be 8 games in and pretty much have played, the top 6 or 7. You're doing okay, aren't you? We've been the better team here. Just keep doing what you're doing. Unlucky so far. Let's go with unlucky so far. I do think, I mean, the match stats say that we've been the better team, don't they? Even though highlights have been a little bit thin on the ground. One thing I did want to quickly get some feedback from you guys on. My world tour, it has officially ended. I wasn't particularly enjoying it. I wasn't sort of getting much interaction. I don't really think people were watching it, to be honest. I tried to do something a little bit different and do a series outside of Europe. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work how I would have hoped. So I've canned that, but I'm looking to start another series. And sort of some feedback on you guys on what you think you'd like to see. I do like the idea of the first star that I've done with Everton. Now, if you've been watching the Everton series, it's not long really the first star anymore. It's just kind of like Everton. This is a good flowing movement. Can we get a goal here? Kostic again, not quite. We're just sort of on a mission now, kind of like this one, just world domination with Everton kind of thing. So I don't know if I do another first star. Someone, I'm thinking like sort of clubs like Newcastle, West Ham, Burnley for some reason interests me. Crystal Palace, someone like that perhaps. I don't want to go too far down the leagues necessarily because I worry. I mean, Football Manager 20 is a long way away, but it can take a long time to build up sort of a League 1, League 2 club to get to sort of Champions League quality. So I'm sort of reluctant to go too far down the leagues. I don't know if I should try like a European country outside of England kind of thing. They don't deserve that. And once again, set-piece defending has let us down. That's so annoying. We did do a little bit of training on set-piece defending. I think it was corners, though. It wasn't actually free kicks like that. We've let ourselves down there. Mosley didn't really have a chance to get to that. Show some passion, boys. Come on. Now we might need to look at potentially changing things here, might we? Can we go and win this, or are we going to fall in a heap? Are we just going to fall in a heap? That's a little bit lazy defending there. Oh, it's going to go in. It's going to go in. No, Mosley's just about kept it out. Oh. All right, let's have a look here. Who's not playing? Almeida is not playing well, is he? So what we might do here is let's stick a second striker up there with Messi. It's looking as though we can't play Almeida and Messi in the same team, isn't it? It just doesn't appear like that's going to work for us. So, I mean, that's fine. We learn these things as we go, but that's the start of the year. Was it against Arsenal? It really didn't work, did it? It might be something we can revisit against sort of lesser teams, perhaps. But I think against the good teams, that just doesn't look like that's going to work for us. All right, what else can we do here? We need to be a bit more expressive now, perhaps. Let's maybe just leave it at that for now. Oh, I can't believe we conceded from a free kick. They have been better this second half, haven't they? We haven't been that good. We haven't really created that much. Considering, last episode we scored so many goals, we have kind of struggled here, haven't we, to get anything together. I mean, Chelsea, let's face it, they're a good team, like I say. So it's not... At least we're not getting absolutely spanked like we did against Arsenal. And to be honest, you didn't see it, but the Manchester United game wasn't the best. We've given a decent account of ourselves here. Still 10 minutes to go, of course. We could yet concede a second and third goal here, and it looks really bad for us. I mean, it doesn't look great right now, to be honest. I am wondering if we maybe take it off, exploit the flanks. This is becoming a long old highlight here. Unless we nick this soon, I fear that it's not going to end well for us. Oh, it's a good header out there from... Oh, what is that? What is that? We'll give it a demand more when we can. Yeah, we just seem to have switched off, don't we? We were looking really, really comfortable. There weren't any highlights necessarily, but we could see in the match ratings things there that we were doing okay. What do we do here? Do we bring Rodrigo on for Marin, who hasn't done that much, really, has he? We might try that. What else could we do here? We could... Let's take it off, exploit the flank, see if we can get any sort of luck through the middle, perhaps. And we just haven't looked... We had that one, didn't we, off the crossbar from Almeida, and other than that, we just haven't really looked like we knew what to do here. Which is a real shame, considering, as I said, we were so good... Oh, We were so good last episode. We were scoring for fun, and that has just completely deserted us today. For whatever reason, we just never got going today, did we? Yeah, it's a good finish again. I mean, it's difficult to argue. I think a draw would have been fair in this game, but we haven't played well. Can we get something late on? Just something to cheer about. It's headed away. Of course, Mason Holgate, we're up against him here, aren't we? The £50 million defender. But, yeah, he comes out on the winning side today, unfortunately. That was really, really disappointing. Did Holgate even play? They paid £50 million to sit on the bench. Well done, Chelsea. Yeah, I mean, that's not good enough. That really was just kind of going back to that first episode, wasn't it? Where we just didn't really create anything. Well, I mean, we were only 6 points off Liverpool. It's early days in the season, and we should be able to sort of mount a comeback in the league from here. But anyway, guys, wait right there. It's the youth academies. It's you guys up against Lincoln City. Okay, now, guys, listen, please. Listen. Messi! Thank you. Jesus Christ, you think you're the greatest player of all time. You can do whatever you want. Now, remember, it's important to look good after the game when you take your shirts off. So the hard work now will definitely pay off. Now I want everyone to stay together as a team, and we'll do this together, okay? Now lift, and down. And lift, and down. Gaz, how much weight you got on that, mate? Oh, jeez. Can somebody call Gaz an ambulance, please? Okay, welcome back. It is time for the Academy kids to go up against Lincoln City. Now, as you've just seen, Gaz Mosley has injured himself lifting weights. It's relatively serious too. It's 6 to 7 weeks, and he wasn't the only person that managed to get injured in that small gap between the Chelsea game, because Grealish is also out for a month. So 2 big losses there for different reasons. I actually think Gaz is probably the worst one, because we don't really have. Yeah, we only really have 2 keepers in the team, and Cadell has never played for us before. And what this also means now is that I have been raiding the emergency loan market, trying to find a keeper we can get in as whether it be first choice or backup to Cadell now for the next 2 months. So, not ideal situation, but we should be able to scrape through anyway. We'll have a look at those scouting reports here. We can see, again, a little bit like Chelsea. It's behind my head, I know, but they're a standard playing style, balanced mentality. That's all fine. We can see here that we're expecting to be quite defensively set up. Positional heat map. Now, the way I read this, and I don't really know how to read a heat map, to be honest. Where the dots are I think that's where they sort of are defensively, and where the heat is kind of where they attack or where they have the ball. So it's like touches with the ball, isn't it? I think the heat map is sort of where the ball is touched by players. So from this, I imagine that they're going to attack us wide and be quite narrow defensively. So we're not going to really look to exploit the flanks necessarily, because I don't know exactly how they're going to play, but that's kind of how I read that heat map. But if you know better than that, please do let me know, because I'm not completely convinced that that's correct. And you can see their direct passes, their key passes tend to be more direct, but to be honest, we're not going to worry too much about that, because they're a struggling championship club. We should be able to see them off here. Famous last words. I know. Now, this is the team we're sending out. Now, unfortunately, we all had all but one academy filled up with you guys, but with Gaz's injury, it means that we have to put Cadell in goal. He's a Northern Irish international. He should be fine. He's a very good goalkeeper, so I'm not too worried about it, to be honest. Casey Back will make his debut at left back. Go on, Casey. See good things from him. Harry Thomas, he will be one of the centre-backs. Goal-scoring machine in this cup as well, next to David Bergkamp II. Bree goes at right back. As I said, we don't have a right back academy product just yet. Gary Turpie, he goes in midfield. I think it's his debut as well. He'll start next to Lee Hendry in the midfield. Nick Roberts, he's one of the stars, isn't he, from the Youth Academy so far. He'll go down the right. Blake Scully will make his debut. He'll go down the left. And then we'll have, of course, Paul Walker as the deep-lying forward, sort of in the Messi role, let's say. And then Brian Carlos, who hasn't scored a goal for Villa for a while, but this is going to be his day. Our backup goalkeeper is about a 15-year-old I called up from the under-18s, because that's how desperate we are. And Casey Back, number 22. That's your number. That was the sort of lowest one available. So you can see we have the debutants there. They are indeed setting up as we expected. This is a tough one to call because they are still a championship club. Let's go with a little bit of passion. Let's give the fans what they're expecting here today. Come on, boys. Couple of people that are making debuts. Let's just calmly say there's no pressure on them today. What have I done there? I always think it's a good idea when someone's making their debut, just take a bit of pressure off. We might do the same for Blake Scully and for Gary Turpie as well. They both did play in pre-season and did okay, so they're up for it. I certainly think they're good enough. It's just a matter of, young players don't always come out of the gates as well as they could. You tend to sink or swim, don't you? All right, it's good to be back at Villa Park. It's good to see the youth academy teams back out there, and let's hope we get a good performance from them as well. We're kind of playing a very attacking 4-4-2 in the end here, aren't we? We don't really have a youth academy product that can play the number 10 role. And I did want to try and make sure we get all of you on. Didn't want to really have to have people on the bench if we didn't need to. So that's why we've got the two up top. So Nick Roberts, Walker, and Carlos can all play in the same team. So like it might be a Villa highlight. Hendry out for Nicky Roberts. Back for Hendry. Look at the space in here. He rolls one in for Brian Carlos. Back for Hendry. This is patient. I don't hate this. There we go. Here's Casey back. First touch in a Villa shirt. Gets the ball to the back post. Nick Roberts! Oh, Nick Roberts! Stunning cross in from Casey back from left back, but just couldn't quite find the finish at the end there, Nick Roberts. All right, here goes Harry Thomas. What can he do for us? Rolls one in there for Hendry. Hendry for Turpie. Back for Hendry. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Here goes Scully. Out there for Beck. Can he get another one? The ball in. Oh, he can. It's another stunning ball in. Just not quite anyone there for it. Good pressure, though. We keep the ball, retain it, recycle. Go on, Scully. What can he do? Back for Hendry. Oh, we're sucking them in. We're sucking them in. Breeze there. It's one of Brian Carlos has got the goal. Now, we haven't seen it come up here yet. Is it going to be... I can only be offside, can't it? I'm pretty sure it's a goal. It looks as though we're all sort of coming back here ready to kick off. I'm relatively confident Brian Carlos has scored there. What are they checking for? We're coming back to kick off. It can only be offside, can't it? It can only be for offside, and it doesn't look like it's been reviewed. And it has indeed been given. Well done, Brian Carlos. It has been a goal drought, but he's back on the score sheet. I knew it was too good to struggle for that much longer. I don't really understand what we were checking for. It can only be offside. Unless it was a foul from Bree. This is probably it, isn't it? This gives that away. He is onside. He's behind the ball. It was a little bit closer than I thought it was, actually. I thought it was sort of a no-brainer that it was a goal, but it was quite close in the end. So that's the lead. Now we just need to try and push on here, add to it if we can, and obviously keep the clean sheet. Casey Beck is looking nervous, and I don't know why. He's arguably been the best player on the field so far. Here we go, back with the throw-in for Brian Carlos, back for Hendry. Hendry for Turpie, back for Hendry. Oh, it's a bit of a lungy tackle there. Does anybody want to get the ball? Apparently not. Cross comes in, with a little bit too much space there, and Cadell cannot stop the goal. It was a really good effort in terms of the power behind the shot, but I do wonder what was going on defensively there. That would have been David Bergkamp, I think. Got kind of sucked into the ball, didn't he? You don't both need to be there. It's a good first touch. It's a good finish. Could the keeper, would Mosley have saved that? I tend to think he might have, actually. But yeah, I think Bergkamp just got sucked under the ball there. He didn't need to go across. Thomas was in there. So that's a little bit disappointing, but that's okay. That's okay. Here goes Paul Walker over a free kick. Knocks it in. Where's Harry Thomas? Brian Carlos with his second goal of the game. Is it allowed? Yes, it is. Brian Carlos, what a game he is having. He's back on form. That's usually Harry Thomas territory. That's where he excels, just banging in the goals from set pieces. But it's a really good header, wasn't it, from Brian Carlos. Nick Roberts was there as well. And that is much, much more like it, boys. Much, much more like it. Now, can we see this out the halftime, please? And thank you, boys. Beck's looking a little bit tired here. He did play an under-18s game about a week ago, but that shouldn't be affecting his fitness right now. I just wonder if he maybe has got a bit of a kick in the shins or something. Not our best performance by any means, but we're ahead and that's the main thing. You've played well so far. There's room for improvement. I do like that. Let's just tell Harry Thomas there's maybe a little bit more to come from him. A little bit more to come from Scully as well. Scully's not a natural winger. We are kind of trying to retrain him in the role because he does have the attributes for it. But yeah, I'm not too concerned that he's not necessarily playing out of his skin just yet because he is, as I said, still learning that role. Kickoff highlights. Can we get a nice early goal here? That would certainly settle the nerves down a little bit, wouldn't it? Turpey goes long. Not quite there for that one. And is this highlight going to continue? It's a long old kickoff highlight at this point, and I fear a little bit what's going to happen at the end of it. Let's go into it. Let's go into it. Can we win the ball here? Come on, Nicky Roberts. Oh, well done, Nick Roberts. All right, let's go up the other end now. Let's go up the other end. It's highlights continuing. This is a long highlight now. There's almost certainly going to be something at the end of it. Hendry knocks it into a little bit of space, goes on a run. Good ball for Brian Carlos on a hat-trick, of course. Brian Carlos! Hat-trick! That's what we like to see. Flying back in form now, Brian Carlos. What a game he's had. Less than a minute on the clock into the second half, and we have added that third goal out to a 2-goal lead for the first time this game. It's a good ball, wasn't it, from Hendry, and a really good composed finish from Brian Carlos as well. Well done, mate. Good to see you back on the score sheet. All right, what else can we do now? Can we go and run a little bit of a riot here, I wonder? When we can, we might give them some praise. Cadell with a decent-looking ball out there for back, in for Hendry. What can he do? Maybe I was wondering if he could maybe slide a pass in there for Paul Walker. I like Walker coming deep there. That's quite good. Header on from Nick Rolls. It wasn't the best pass. He kind of did what he could to keep it in. Good pressure on the keeper. We've pressured him into a mistake, actually. Scully down for Hendry. Out for Beck. Back in for Scully. Back for Hendry. Oh, it's a nice little ball back. What a stunning cross. It's a stunning cross, and Nick Roberts couldn't miss. Casey Back. A hero is born. What a left back he's looking in this game. What a left back. A stunning cross in. A nice little ball from Hendry to find him too, actually. But let's have another look at this cross. Just look into the space there, but look at this. First time. Have some of that. You can't miss. That is just begging to be put in the back of the net. It's 4-1 to the Villa Academy, and this is absolutely stunning stuff. How many can we score here? How many can we score? Should we go attacking? Let's go attacking. Let's really see if we can ram it home here. We'll praise them again. Cadell out to Harry Thomas. Let's see what's going to come of this. Back to Hendry. Out for David Beaucamp II. Hendry, Turpey, Harry Thomas. Patient play, I like it. Yeah, I got distracted, didn't I, in the first game about the sort of a new series. Here's a chance for Paul Walker. Oh, what a finish from Paul Walker. Rolls it in the back of the net, passes it in there. Brian Carlos, 3 goals and an assist now. What a game he is having. And what a game Villa is having, to be fair. That was just a really good... There looked to be nothing on. Carlos comes deep and just slides in an absolute peach. Look at that. Paul Walker in behind the defence. And a really good composed finish as well. This is wonderful stuff. And that could be Walker's first goal for the club, actually, I think, as well. Certainly in a competitive game, anyway. Yeah, so like I was saying, let me know any ideas you have for a new series. I do have an idea for an experiment. Walker, it's a penalty. It's a stone wall penalty. Who's going to take it? It is going to be... I haven't seen who it's going to be yet. Facing the wrong way for the number. It is Brian Carlos. Can he get 4? Oh, it's a haul of goals. Brian Carlos, 4 goals in this game. Now, what is the club record? I'm sure, like, the actual official club record is probably, 5 or 6. But to be fair, 5 or 6, that's within range here, isn't it? Can Brian Carlos write himself into the history books here? Yeah, I do have an idea for an experiment, a Liverpool-Manchester City experiment. So you'll probably see that coming up in the next few days here. That's not good defending, to be honest. That's quite poor defending. Brie did his best to get back, but we just got caught out a little bit there. We might need to throw out a demand more here. Just getting a little bit complacent. I mean, at 6-1, arguably you're allowed to get a little bit complacent. Brie did his best. It's Cadell, yeah. Not completely convinced by Cadell this game, if I'm honest, but if we don't get a loanee in, I mean, he's our Champions League goalkeeper for the foreseeable future, so that is not ideal. He's a Northern Irish international. Surely he will come good for us. But yeah, basically, yeah, I'm looking for ideas for a new series. Hendry! Oh, it's off the crossbar. Yeah, is there any ideas you have? Anything you'd like to see, let me know. Feedback is always welcome. I should say too, if you are enjoying this, make sure you hit the thumbs up. It helps me know people are sort of watching and enjoying the videos all the way through. which is good to know, obviously. Come on, boys. Come on. Let's get one more. We'll throw out some praise here if and when we can. They're down to 10 men because they've made their subs. So, come on. Can we get some praise going, please, game? One last praise. I don't think there's another goal in it for us. There's 40 seconds. We need to go up the other end here and score. Bree with a good header, actually. That was a really good header, wasn't it? Bergkamp, can he roll something out here for us? He's found Paul Walker. There might be time. There is time. He goes early for Blake Scully. Can Scully find someone in the middle? He squares it. Oh, Nick Roberts was there, but I don't know that there was a lot of defenders in between. I'm not sure it would have got through. This is looking like an end-of-game highlight now. But guys, give yourself a round of applause. That has been a really, really good performance. As I said, Lincoln City are a championship club. It's not the easiest tie. We've absolutely dismantled them. That sort of casts aside any of the Chelsea memories, I think, doesn't it? Because that Chelsea game was so disappointing. But that was a really, really good bounce back. So there we go, we win in the third round of the Carabao Cup. I did check, and Tammy Abraham got 4 goals for us in the first season against Derby in the Championship. So it's not a record for Brian Carlos, but I tell you what, 4 goals and an assist, that is quite the effort, isn't it? Quite the effort. Anyway, guys, that is it for today's episode. If you have enjoyed that, do make sure you hit thumbs up. And, of course, if you are new to the channel, welcome. And make sure you subscribe and ring the bell so you don't upload new episodes. We'll be back next time. I think what we'll do, we'll come back for... We've got the EFL Cup game in there somewhere. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll come back for Schalke and Spurs, because that Spurs are sort of up there with us. That's sort of one of the bigger games and away from home as well. And then I think we'll come straight back. We're going to show a few games in a row here for the fourth round and for West Brom. And then we'll see how the group's going from there. We might even skip over Schalke and do Monaco and Brighton or something like that. But anyway, next episode, it is, who did I say it was? Schalke and Spurs. Schalke and Spurs next episode. I'll see you then. I've been Aussie Villa. Thanks for watching. Take care.